Haribol. Today is such a special day. Baladeva Purnima. Balaram Avirbhava. Generally we say Avirbhava. When people say Balaram Jayanti, my Gurudev didn't like that so much. We say Krishna Jayanti, and we reserve that expression of Jayanti specifically for Krishna, which is this time next week. But today we talk about Baladeva Purnima and Avirbhava. So it's the 19th of August, Monday, 2024. So we'll have a kirtan glorifying Nityananda Ram. Nityananda, Baladev Prabhu are same personality, just as Mahaprabhu and Krishna are the same personalities. So we will glorify Nityananda Ram in honor of Baladev Prabhu.
Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedaya Adama Padita Jive Dware Dware Giya Harinama Maha Mantra Dichena Vilaya Adama Patita Jive Dware Dware Giya Harinama Maha Mantra Vichena Vilaya Jare Deke Tare Kahe Dante Trina Dori Amare Kimiya Laho Bolo Gaura Hari Jare Deke Tare Kahe Dante Trina Dori Amare Kimiya Laho Bolo Gaura Hari Eto Boli Nityananda Bhumega Dijaya Sonara Parvata Jeno Dulate Lotaya Eto Bali Nityananda Bhumega Dijaya Sonara Parvata Jeno Dulate Lotaya Heno Avatare Jara Ratina Janilo Lochana Vole Se Papi Elo Aragelo Heno Avatare Jara Ratina Janilo Lochana Vole Se Papi Elo Aragelo Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedaya Akrodha Paramananda Nityananda Raya Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Vedai Jaya Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Ram Nityananda Ram Jaya Nityananda Nityanandaram Jaya Nityanandaram Nityanandaram Jaya Nityananda Jaya Nitai Jaya Ram Jaya Nitai Jaya Ram Jaya Nitai Jaya Ram Jaya Nitai Jaya Ram Jaya Baladev Prabhu Jaya Baladev Prabhu Baladev Prabhu Jaya Baladev Prabhu Jaya Baladev Prabhu Jaya Baladev Prabhu Baladev Prabhu Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Nitai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Nityananda Rai Jaya Nityananda Rai Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hare Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hare Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaura Hare Sachinandan Jaya Gaura O Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Radhe Jaya Shri Radhe O Radhe 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 Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Ganhabika Giridhari Radha Govinda Tota Gopinath Ki Jai Jai Nityananda Rai Ki Jai Jai Baladev Prabhu Ki Jai Jai Baladev Purnima Ki Jai Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimad Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tadasara Shishimad Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Shila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Baladev Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shila Baladevi Dibhushan Gaudi Bharantaracharya Ki Jai. Jai Rasik Sirumani Shila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Shila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shri Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Paradasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Arupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parsada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sigaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Anta Dvip Mayapur Simanta Dvip Gautram Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ritu Dvip Jana Dvip Motan Dvip Rudu Dvip Atmaka Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dwadasa Varmatmika Shri Braja Mandal Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kund Shama Kund Ganga Jamuna Devi Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Shrimati Yoga Maya Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. Ketra Mandal Ki Jai. Sadhava Vigna Vinasakari Shina Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Bhakta Prava Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charidam Ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Charya Ki Jai. Akada Mataraj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Shri Keshav Ji Gaudiya Mat Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Anantapota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Aginati Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jina Tasmaya Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Shtapitam Jina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Shwapadantikam Priya Swarupe Tayata Sarupe Prema Sarupe Sahaja Rupe Nijana Rupe Prabhuve Karupe Katana Rupe Swavilasa Rupe Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavartino Kalo Samadapaitam Annata Ujvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarata Tikatamba Satipita Sadakadare Kandare Sparatuva Sachinandanaha Yam Pravajanta Manapetyam Apet Krityam Vaipayano Viraha Katara Ajuyava Putre Titam Mayatayo Taravo Vidustam Sarvabhutam Vidimo Manatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparara Lakshay Shiptascha Karamadita Rangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapadam Vrinte Namaste Charanadavindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Apagashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Bharadram Tato Namanasti Katyana Kapi Tapaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vigmaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Sharanantikam Sankarshana Karanam Taishai Garvadoshay Chavai Vishi Shri Shashcha Yasyam Sakala Sanitya Nandakya Sharman Namastu Nityananda Namastu Vyam Premananda Pradayani Kalikamasya Nasaya Janava Bhaktaye Namaha. All glories to Shri Baladeva Prabhu Ki Jai. All glories to my beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tadasara Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again, millions of times to Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tadasara Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Varga, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Tanam Bhavnibhyo Vaishnave Namaha. So today, Baladeva Purnima, the Avirbhava of our most dear, beloved Sri Baladeva Prabhu. We always feel such an affinity for Baladeva Prabhu. Baladeva Prabhu, as Nityananda, he calls us brothers. Why? Because
he's manifesting us from his own form, ultimately. That Sandini Shakti, that Baladev Prabhu is the Ishtadev. Baladev Nityananda Rai same. So, this is why we refer to Baladev as Akhanda Guru Mula Tattva. Akhanda, undivided, Mul, root, truth. Because Guru teaches us the path of bhakti. Baladev Prabhu is the first manifestation coming from Sri Krishna through the Swarup Shakti. So he manifests to demonstrate the principle of bhakti, of devotion. Therefore he's Guru. Therefore he's the supreme Guru. He's Akhanda Guru. He's the top of the line, so to speak. And from Baladev Prabhu, he's the first Swamsa. That's coming directly from the form of the Lord through the Swarup Shakti. Everything must manifest through Swarup Shakti. Krishna does nothing himself. Everything is coming through Swarup Shakti, Sri Radha. But the Baladev Prabhu is that first manifestation to show to the world and to demonstrate his own devotion to Krishna. He acts as the sandals of Krishna. He acts as the umbrella of Krishna. He acts as the bed of Krishna. He manifests with the potency of this Sandini Shakti. Sandini means existence. So everything in existence, everything we can see, is a manifestation of Baladev Prabhu. Everything is manifesting from him. And the jivas are also manifesting from him to perform seva, service, to Sri Radha and Krishna. All are in that mood. So even the forests, the cows, the bodies of the Brijbasis, they're all manifesting from Baladev Prabhu. Any existence potency, this Sandini Shakti, this is who Baladev is, the Ishtadev. He's the representative of that potency of existence in order to please and serve his beloved Sri Krishna. So we see in his pastimes that he, first of all, in his service to Krishna, manifests in the womb of Devaki as the 7th pregnancy. And he stays in Devaki's womb for 6 months, preparing, sanctifying her room for his beloved Lord, Sri Brajendranandan Shyam Sundar, who will become the 8th pregnancy. So then, as we all know the history, it appears that Devaki had a miscarriage after 6 months, because Purnamasi Yogamaya had been instructed to transfer Baladev into the womb of Rohini Ma. Vasudeva had about 18 wives, and one of them was Rohini. So my Gurudev explains that all of the manifestations, the incarnations, they don't manifest from any seminal exchange. My Gurudev is saying that from the sound vibration, the mantra, from Vasudeva enters the ear of Rohini Ma, and then she becomes pregnant in this way. So that mantra was chanted in Rohini's ear and she became pregnant. And then that form within her womb was a partial representation of Baladev. And the full manifestation of Baladev is transferred by Purnamasi, by Yogamaya. Yogamaya Devi, she transferred when Devaki is 6 months pregnant. So Devaki, she has a miscarriage at 6 months. And this is the 7th pregnancy. So it's in preparation for the 8th pregnancy that she'll have, which is Krishna. So then Rohini, she carries Baladev in her womb, and she's instructed by her husband Vasudeva to go to Braj. She's really greatly connected with Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda and Rahima are like two sisters practically. And she goes to the household of Nanda Baba. And she's pregnant, and Mother Yashoda is pregnant at the same time. And it's described that Rohini Ma, she carries Baladeva for 8 months in her womb. So altogether, Baladeva is 14 months in the womb. Altogether, he's 6 months in the womb, and then he's 8 months in Rohini. So that makes 14 months altogether. So he manifests himself after 8 months in Braj directly. And actually, as we know, as we're describing now, the real mother of Balaram, the first mother, is Devaki. And then he has Rohini Ma second. But he also considers Mother Yashoda to be his mother, because Krishna and Balaram manifest as two brothers. And this incarnation, as opposed to the previous incarnation when he was Lakshman, the younger brother of Lord Ram, now he's a week older, actually 8 days older. And in Indian culture, this makes a lot of difference as far as the respect is concerned between the brothers. Always Baladeva will be the elder brother, always, always, always. So there was sometimes contention in their various leelas, because Balaram was the elder brother. So Balaram, when on his birth, he is like completely dumb and blind. He's like a dumb child, just like Radhika is blind at birth, until Krishna comes and rocks the cradle, and the first thing that Radhika sees is the beautiful moonlight face of Krishna. So similarly with Baladeva Prabhu, he's just waiting for his Lord to appear. So a week after his birth, then Krishna appears, and as soon as Krishna appears and comes in contact with Baladeva Prabhu, then immediately Baladeva becomes his cognitive, his whole senses become alive again, and he's revived in that sense. So we know all the childhood pastimes. So sometimes it's spoken by different groups or people that Baladeva was a year older than Krishna. But my Gurudev, every single Baladeva Purnima, he always stresses exactly the same thing, that Baladeva is 8 days older. Otherwise, how could they be crawling around together, hanging onto the tails of calves, flying through the cow dung in the courtyard of Nanda Baba? How could they be doing all these beautiful, sweet pastimes in their childhood, in their Balya Lila? So this is Baladeva Prabhu, and he's non-different entirely to Krishna. And as I said, he's manifesting to demonstrate to all souls the mood of bhakti to Krishna. Radhika, she represents the Hladini Shakti. She's bringing a conjugal mood for Krishna. Krishna himself represents the Sangvit Shakti, this potency of knowledge. But Baladev, in his representation as Sandini, Ishtadev, he manifests all the worlds are manifesting from. We have to realize this, because otherwise how can we have complete faith that he is that Akhand Guru Mula Tattva without knowing the line where he's coming? So from Baladev Prabhu are manifesting the two Chatuvyuhas, the two quadruple expansions of, there's Mul Sankarshan, and then there's Sankarshan, and Maha Sankarshan manifests in the form of the creative energy or the existence potency in Vaikuntha, of Narayan. Narayan is Krishna. Baladev Prabhu is the Sandini Shakti. And from Baladev Prabhu is manifesting all the Purusha avatars, Karanadaksha Vishnu, Gaudavadaksha Vishnu, Shiradaksha Vishnu, and Anantashesh, holding up all the universes on his heads, bottom of the universe. So this is the power, the potency. This is why he has the name Baladev. Baladev means that very strong personality. He has that because he's the entirety of all existence, this Sandini. And he embodies simultaneously this mood of seva, entirely seva to his dearest, most worshipable Sri Krishna. And when he appears as Baladeva Prabhu in the forests and groves of Vrindavan, it's very wonderful to perceive their sweet, sweet relationship, especially in their childhood pastimes, the Balya Leela, when they're melting all the hearts of the Brijbasis, when the gopis, the elder gopis, they will say to Krishna, "Oh, who is stronger, you or Baladev?" Baladev has a very thick sika, it's described. Krishna's sika isn't as thick as Baladev's. And Baladev slaps his arms, and Krishna and Baladev, they wrestle with each other. And the gopis say, "We'll give a laddu to whoever wins." So they're both very eager to defeat each other. So they have so many sweet childhood pastimes in Braj that are described throughout the scripture. And then, as they come into their Pauganda age, there's the very beautiful pastime of the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Now, we know in this Brahma Vimohan Leela that Baladeva Prabhu was not there on that day, because again, that day, it was his birthday. And Rohini Ma had kept him at home. So that whole year that transpired when Krishna had manifested himself as all the gopas, all the cowherd boys, and all the calves, was completely unknown to Baladeva. Even though Baladeva is omniscient, he's also covered over, just like Krishna himself voluntarily allows himself to be covered by the love of the Brijbasis. Krishna is described as Sarva Gyan. He's all-knowing and he's Mukdata. He doesn't know anything. Otherwise, how could he be bound by Mother Yashoda to the grinding mortar if he was thinking, "But I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead"? He's not. When he's in Vrindavan with the Brijbasis, he's completely controlled by their love. He's covered by their love. And so Baladeva Prabhu, he's also completely enwrapped in this Sakhya Ras, this friendship mood. Baladeva Prabhu actually manifests in all the rasas. In the Shantaras, in the Brahmand, he's manifesting all the universes. Those universes that are carried by Anantashesh. And the manifestation of those universes coming from Mahavishnu. So Baladeva Prabhu is in that sense. But in Braj, this omniscience is covered from him for the pastimes to go on. Because there's a beautiful description that in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, right at the very end, when the cowherd men are on the banks, on the slopes of Govardhan with the cows, the gopas, and the cows, the mother cows, they see their one-year-old cows in the valley below, not their calves. Calves have also been born, but they see these one-year-old cows. A one-year-old cow isn't really called a calf anymore. So these are all expansions of Krishna. And the cows, the heifers, the mothers, they perceive their elder children and they break free from the bounds of the gopas and they race down a very, very steep slope, which is very dangerous for them. They could break their legs. And the gopas become very frustrated and angry when they're trying to stop them. But the mothers are totally attracted to their one-year-old cow. And they break, and they come, and as soon as they reach the valley, they begin to lick their one-year-old cows. And they're neglecting their calves. So Baladeva Prabhu, he's witnessing this. And he's witnessing that when the gopas come down in a very angry, frustrated mood, as soon as they see their sons, who are also expansions of Krishna directly, immediately their hearts melt. Immediately their anger, frustration just melts away. And they put their sons on their lap, they smell their heads, they stroke their cheeks, and tears of joy are coming from their hearts as they fondle with their young sons. And Baladeva is watching this pastime, and now he's become awake by Krishna's mercy. And he's wondering, why is this happening like this? So he asks Krishna, you know, why is this happening like this? And then Krishna begins to lift the veil of illusion from Baladeva Prabhu. Baladeva Prabhu has been in illusion, thinking that these are all the eternal associates of Krishna, the cowherd boys. And when Baladev sees the reality that these are all Krishna murti forms, all these cowherd boyfriends, they're all murti forms coming from Krishna, Baladev is astonished. And he sees the calves also, these one-year-old calves, they're also murti forms of Vishnu. They're also manifesting from him. And he sees this amazing manifestation. And he's bewildered, because he had always understood that these were the eternal Nitya Siddha Parikas of Krishna. So then he asks Krishna to reveal the reason, the purpose for this, and explain his confusion. And of course, this exchange is just happening practically telepathically between their eye glances. And they finally Baladev realizes, Krishna reveals to him that Lord Brahma, he has stolen the original cowherd boys and calves. So he's manifested. He reveals the Leela in his heart to Baladev. Baladev Prabhu is very unhappy that he didn't know about it. He's the elder brother. So Jiva Goswami, particularly in his Gopal Champu, he brings this mood out to show the reality of these brothers' relationship, really. It's so sweet, but it's really brotherly. Sometimes brothers, they have disagreements. They're not always lovey-dovey with each other. Sometimes there's clashes of differences of opinion. So Baladeva Prabhu, he says to Krishna at that time, why didn't you tell me about this? And Krishna says, because I knew you would miss Sridham Saka too much. Sridham Saka and Baladev are so closely linked. Sridham is older, a little bit older than Baladev, but they're both very tight friends. Sridham, of course, is the brother of Srimati Radhika. And Krishna answers like this, but actually Krishna is thinking, if I had told Balaram, he would have told Mother Yashoda. And then the whole plan would have been just spoiled, because nobody could know this confidential pastime. How could it be real if it became known even to Balaram? Balaram himself would have had a different relationship with all the cowherd boys if he'd known this. So it was kept secret from even Baladev. And then it's described by Jiva Goswami that Baladev was really unhappy with his younger brother for withholding this vital piece of information from him. So he didn't come out in the pasturing grounds for the next 5 days. He didn't come out in the fields. And when he does come out, Krishna arranges for this beautiful pastime of Dhenukasura to kind of like, put Baladev into his omniscient position. Because this beautiful pastime of Dhenukasura, it focuses on the speciality of Baladev. Dhenuka is considered the representative of ignorance. So Guru has to purify that ignorance. How does Guru cure the ignorant disciple? He cures him by making the disciple know he's ignorant. Once we know how ignorant and stupid we are, then we can start to purify that ignorance, that avidya can be purified. If we don't know we're stupid, then we remain covered by that illusion. But as soon as Guru, and Guru, my Gurudev in particular, was very easily able to show us just how foolish we were on so many occasions. I can remember one very small occasion when we were in Fiji, and my Gurudev had been handing out fruits, sticky papaya, and he wanted to wash his hands afterwards. But they were taking a long time to get the water, so I offered him my cloth to wipe his hands, and he just looked at me and said, "I'm not so stupid. How can you take sticky juice off your hands with a cloth? You need water." So just little instances like this, and there were many, many of them, when Guru reveals to us our stupid, or our ignorance rather. It's our ignorance. Ignorance means our intelligence is covered. So what is Guru doing? He's pulling the veils from our intelligence to reveal to us the reality of our pure spirit souls, to reveal to us the height ultimately of our pure intelligence in having the ability to please Radha and Krishna. So this Dhenukasura, he represents this demon of ignorance. And we know the pastime when the cowherd boys, they challenge Krishna like in a Kshatriya spirit mood of vira ras, of chivalry, of heroism. And they tell Krishna, we have this demon of hunger within us. You have to kill this demon of hunger. And they can smell the fragrance of these tal fruits coming across from the valley. And they're so sweet because the fragrance of tal fruits is very, very attractive. But the cowherd boys, they tell Krishna, but there's a big demon there guarding them, Dhenuka, an ass demon. So Balaram and Krishna immediately pick up this challenge and march into the forest, Kamsa's forest, which is guarded by these ferocious man-eating asses, donkeys. They're man-eating, they've eaten men, fearlessly. And Baladev begins to shake the trees, and Krishna also, so the tal fruits drop for the boys to enjoy. And at that time, the demon Dhenuka, he races out, screaming like an ass can scream in anger and rage, indignation. How dare this person dare trespass on my property that I'm guarding? And he swings his hind legs and takes a kick at Balaram's chest. It just comes off him like a lotus flower off his chest, completely unscathed. And this demon goes forward a little bit, turns around and runs back again, and again tries to kick his back legs against Balaram's chest with all his strength. This time Baladev, he catches one of those hind legs and begins to swing him around. And the force of that swinging, the centrifugal force, makes the demon lose his life. And then he casually swings this Dhenuka into the top of a palm tree. And then when it lands in the top of the palm tree, its weight of the donkey makes the other tree next to it fall down, and it becomes like a domino effect. All the trees start to fall down. And with this noise, all the other ass demons come running out. And then Krishna and Balaram, they enjoy the beautiful sport of grabbing the hind legs of all these donkeys, because they all do the same motion. And they kill all of these demons and leave them stranded in the tops of the trees. But by now, of course, there's blood all over the fruits. And the cowherd boys are very sattvic personalities. They won't touch the fruit. So they leave them for the local tribes people to take up. Then they leave that forest. But this pastime is about the potency and strength of Balaram. How he has the power to purify and annihilate the darkest ignorance that the heart of the conditioned soul can have in not seeing our true fortune, our true self in relationship to service to Krishna. So this is considered the four anarts, this Swarup Brahm, Aparad, Trishna, Hriday Dubalyam, and this, what's that? Trishna. There's some, no. Was it? No. This is fourth one. Swarad Brahm, Hriday Dubalyam, Asat Krishna. Asat Krishna. This means having great attraction for other objects other than Krishna. Asat Krishna. And Hriday Dubalyam, this weakness of heart. So these four anarthas are represented in the pastime of Dhenukasura. So we hear these in connection with Dhenukasura. But whenever we were with my Gurudev discussing these various Braja pastimes, as soon as we would become to explaining them in a sort of analytical way, my Gurudev would always become impatient and just tell us to sit down. He wanted just to stay in Braj and hear the sweet pastimes of Braj. So this is one example of when Baladev Prabhu, after the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he comes out and he kills Dhenukasura. And another example is also of Kaliya Naga, the serpent. Balaram had specifically ordered Krishna not to go to the Hrada, the lake of Kaliya, specifically because he knew how dangerous was this serpent. And Balaram is in a mode always of protectiveness. He's the elder brother. Even Lakshman had the same mood of guarding Ram constantly, that same loyalty, unlimited loyalty and affinity. So Balaram has the same protective mood towards his younger brother, even though he knows his younger brother is that Supreme Lord, the most almighty person. But at the same time, he always wants to protect him. So he told him, because on that day of the, when Krishna goes to chastise Kaliya, it was again Baladev's birthday. So we go through these different years. So Rohini Ma keeps him home for a feast, etc., and to honor the Brahmins. So what's the first thing that Krishna does when he gets out into the grazing grounds? Is go straight to Kaliya Prida, even though his brother had told him not to go. So again, when Baladev comes with all the Brijbasis, and Krishna is in the coils of Kaliya, and the Brijbasis are trying to enter into that lake, that poisonous lake, then Balaram, just by the brilliance of his moonbeam smile, pacifies all the Brijbasis. Otherwise, it's described by the Acharyas, they were ready to give up their lives, seeing the inconvenience of Krishna being bound by the coils of Kaliya. So Baladev Prabhu, he knows the glories of his elder brother, younger brother, so he holds them back. And then the beautiful pastime of Kaliya unfolds, Krishna dancing on the hoods, etc. And when Krishna comes out, Baladev is so pleased and gives him such a hug that he comes out. Although he knew all along that Krishna could defeat the Kaliya Naga, still he felt that protective mood. So again, Jiva Goswami explains that after this pastime also, Baladev doesn't come out into the fields for some time, because he's also unhappy that Krishna went there without him. So again, to me, this demonstrates what Jiva Goswami brings out, is this very brotherly exchange between Krishna and Baladev. It's very beautiful and sweet. Today, by the way, we went to the Tota Gopinath temple. And in the Tota Gopinath temple, of course, most of you will know, there's a beautiful deity of Baladev and Revati and Varuni, his two wives on either side, and then is Tota Gopinath, Lalita and Radha, and then Madan Mohan on the end. So today Baladev was in beautiful white, all decorated in a brand new white costume, and his headpiece was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful royal turban was on his head. Normally he doesn't have any turban on, but today he had a beautiful royal turban. And Varuni and Revati almost looked brighter. They were all wearing shining white. And then, in a mood of affinity with Baladev, Gopinath is also dressed in white. Today he's completely, of course it's Purnima, but still he was dressed in a brand new white outfit today. So they were all in white, celebrating the birthday, the appearance of Baladeva. So after that Kaliya Krida pastime, then Baladeva, he again doesn't come out for a little while. And when he does come out, the next pastime we read in the Bhagavatam is Pralambasura. Again Baladeva Prabhu is given this opportunity to kill this demon. And who is Pralambasura? He represents lust. And it's Guru who can purify the lust. The ignorance and the lust is purified by Guru, by pointing out to us, by letting us see this lustful nature within ourselves, by letting us see the depth of this all-devouring lust that exists within the conditioned soul's heart for sense gratification on any type of level. So Baladeva Prabhu, we know the beautiful story. One Gopa was away this particular day. He was kept back by his mother. So Pralamba, he impersonates these Rakshasas, these demons, they can impersonate. So he impersonated that boy who was missing that day. And immediately Krishna notices he can smell. And the other cows, they could also smell some difference between them. Krishna notices the demon, so he's thinking how to actually kill this demon cowherd boy. So then they start to play the game of, it's like cops and robbers in the Western world. So where the losers would have to piggyback the winners on their shoulders or on their backs. And it came the time for Baladeva, there was Baladeva's party and Krishna's party. And when Pralamba was in the opposing party to Baladeva, it was his turn to carry Baladeva. And then he began to carry Baladeva on his back. And as I described before, Baladeva was so engrossed in his Sakya Bhav that he didn't know what was happening. He just knew that this was some sort of ferocious demon and was carrying him away from the other cowherd boys. So he looks to Krishna, and Krishna shoots him a glance that wakes up his omniscience. So he knows that actually he is that Supreme Personality of God in himself. And when this demon starts to show his form, Balaram punches him just with one crack of his fist and shatters the head of the demon, who falls down. And then all the cowherd boys are so much glorifying Baladeva Prabhu. So it's a very, very beautiful pastime, and Baladeva Prabhu is made the center of attraction for all the gopas, the cowherd boys. So pastimes like this happening very beautifully around Baladeva. Baladeva Prabhu performs so many pastimes. Also, this Dvidvida, the gorilla, when this Dvidvida, the gorilla pastime, when the Krishna and his gopis, and Baladeva and his gopis, Baladeva also has his gopis, because Baladeva Prabhu also performs his Ras Leela. It's not to the same pitch as Krishna's Ras Leela, but still it's the same mood. And we should also understand that when Baladeva Prabhu returns to Braj from Dwarka, that because Krishna won't return until after 100 years, but Baladeva Prabhu, he comes back after about 80 years and performs Ras with the gopis, with all the gopis, but he's in such a mood of Shyam that he goes blackish, because we have in Madhuvan the beautiful deity of Dauji, and he's black in sympathy with Krishna. He's thinking of Krishna only. The gopis are only thinking of Krishna. He's thinking of Krishna. So that Ras Leela goes on with him, with Baladeva, immersed in a mood of Krishna, and pacifying the gopis' hearts by doing that. He also has Ras with his own gopis. That's a different pastime. That's at Ramgat, when he calls Kalindi. Not my Gurudev describes that Jamuna Devi is considered to be Vishaka, but also there's an expansion of Vishaka called Kalindi, and it's Kalindi that's making her way to her husband, the ocean. But actually Baladev is the real husband of Kalindi. So Baladev, he calls Yamuna in the form of Kalindi to come to him after he's been celebrating Ras in Ramghat, and they've been drinking much Varuni Ras. The trees on the order of Varunadev, they manifest beautiful sweet honey juice, which they all drink and become intoxicated with. And Baladev becomes intoxicated, and because he's intoxicated, Kalindi won't come. She thinks he's intoxicated. Baladev becomes very angry and throws his plow in the ground and begins pulling, dragging her across. You can go today to Ramghat and you can see the marks of Baladev Prabhu's plow where he's pulled Kalindi. But this is not Vishaka, this is Kalindi, who's the consort of Sagar, of the ocean. But actually she's Baladev's wife. So this is another very beautiful pastime. So we understand Baladev Prabhu, he has the club and he has the plow. And he has the plow for cultivating the hearts of the jivas, making their hearts fertile by demonstrating, like I've described in these two different pastimes, the anarthas that we're carrying of ignorance and lust. And he'll plow the gentle sadhak's heart. Guru will plow the heart, and then Guru will use the club to kill any demons that approach and to annihilate the demon that can arise after the plowing. So Baladev Prabhu is equipped with all this potency to help the jivas, to serve the jivas in his service to Sri Krishna, in his bhakti. So coming back to this pastime of Dvitvida the gorilla, in previous incarnation, Dvitvida was serving Lord Ram in the battle for getting back Sita Devi. But Dvitvida had some animosity towards Lakshman. He understood Ram is that Supreme Lord, but he was offensive towards Lakshman. And as a result of that offense, in his next birth, he took birth, he was still in that ape form, or it's the same personality. But because he's in a different time zone, so to speak, he was carrying the same body, that ape, that gorilla. But because of his offense to Lakshman, then he was forced into bad association. He was attracted by bad association. Narak, especially Narakasura. And due to that contaminating association, he became completely inimical towards Baladev and Lakshman because of that. And then in this pastime, when the gopis are playing, then Dvitvida comes to try to capture the gopis, and it's Baladev who kills Dvitvida. So Baladev kills this demon also. And Baladev also kills Ramaharsana Sutta when he's on his pilgrimage while the battle of Kurukshetra is going on. Because Ramaharsana Sutta doesn't have the full respect to all the Vaishnavas. He doesn't stand up when Baladev Prabhu enters the assembly of all the sadhus and rishis. He just stays in his asana and has too much pride there. So Baladev Prabhu, he's purifying that pride. He picks the kusha grass, and just one touch of that kusha grass and Ramahasana loses his head. The sages are all really aghast at this. So Baladev, he installs his son, Sutta Goswami. And this Ugrashrava Sutta, he takes that seat, and he's infused by Baladev fully with all the bhakti, siddhants and tattvas, etc., by Baladev directly. So we see again that Baladev Prabhu, he doesn't, when the battle, the huge battle, this is a monumental battle of Kurukshetra. This is when 640 million people die on this battlefield. Then Baladeva Prabhu, who has made friends with Duryodhana, there was a time in Dwarka when the Shamantaka jewel was producing so many kilos of gold, 18 kilos of gold a day. Satrajit, the father of Satyabhama, owned the Shamantaka jewel, and Satrajit was murdered in a big conspiracy. And Akrura also had something to do with this conspiracy. But they accused Krishna. There was a rumor that Krishna had actually conspired to get this Shamantaka jewel also, because Krishna is the royal prince. So Krishna had to purify this. So we know the pastime that actually the brother of Satrajit, Rashna, he was out riding with that jewel as a locket on his neck, and a lion killed him and took the jewel. And then Jambavan, the great bear from Ram's time, killed that lion and took the jewel and gave it to his daughter to play with. And when Krishna, he had to find the jewel, so he was tracking the murder of the brother of Satrajit, Rashna, and then he followed, saw the lion, killed, then he followed and came to the cave of Jambavan. The cave of Jambavan is something like 300 miles long. It's right up in Kashmir, which is close by Dwarka. So this is where the pastime took place. And then Jambavan comes running out of his the cave because he sees Krishna picking up the jewel and going to take it. He doesn't know who Krishna is. And they fight ferociously together for many, many days. Many days they're fighting. Jambavan is a very powerful warrior, and Krishna is fighting with him. And after some time, Jambavan realizes there's no one as strong as me in the world except Ram. This must be an incarnation of Ram. And then he submits to Krishna, and Krishna reveals his identity as non-different to Ram. And at that time Jambavan is so overjoyed, and he gives him the jewel, and also he gives him the jewel of his daughter, Jambavati. And Krishna takes back Jambavati and the Shamantaka jewel back to Dwarka, and he hands the jewel back to Satyabhama, the daughter of Satyajit. But then the jewel is in the custody of Satyabhama, and again the jewel is stolen by the killer of Satrajit, who is Sadananda. Sadananda killed Satrajit in order to take the jewel. But the jewel was returned by Krishna. But then Satrajit tried to take that jewel again, because Krishna doesn't accept the jewel. He leaves it in the palace of Satyabhama. So then Sadadanya, he tries to steal that jewel. And Krishna, he knows this. He knows that this is the murderer, and that again he's trying to steal the jewel. So Sadananda, he becomes aware. This is described in the 10th canto, this pastime. And he takes a horse that can ride 900 miles without stopping. And Krishna and Balaram together, they chased Sadananda, thinking that he had again taken the jewel. And when the horse dies, after 900 miles, Sadananda gets down and starts running. And Krishna stops the chariot that they're chasing him in, and he gets down and he cuts his head off with his Sudarsana chakra. And then Krishna, he goes across to the horse that has died and starts to look in the saddlebags for the Shamantaka jewel. But the jewel is not there. And then he comes back to Baladeva, who's on the chariot, and he tells Baladeva, the jewel is not there. And Baladeva, as again, he knows that Krishna is omniscient. He knows that Krishna knew the jewel wasn't there all the time. And he becomes again upset to some degree. Why is Krishna trying to put this veil of illusion over me? He knew all the time that the jewel wasn't there, but he's putting me into illusion about it. So Baladeva Prabhu, he becomes a little, unhappy with that, and he goes to the city of Matila, which is close by, and he stays there in the city for 7 years. And during that 7 years, he instructs Duryodhana in the art of club fighting, so that Duryodhana becomes very, very powerful. And they also make a good friendship. Duryodhana, he's a demon, but still, by reflecting off Baladev, the higher personality will come out of Duryodhana. So they make friendship there. So this is why Baladev doesn't want to enter the Kurukshetra war, because Duryodhana is his friend. He's made friends with Duryodhana, even though Duryodhana is such a demon and orchestrating all these other things. But still Baladev has made a friendship with him. And there's another pastime also where Samba, the son of Jambavati, tries to kidnap the daughter of Duryodhana, Lakshmana, and he gets caught by all the warriors, Bhishma Dev, Drona, and Duryodhana, and gets put in a jail, even though he fights amazingly well. The son of Jambavati, Krishna's son, so powerful, but he gets defeated by 7 mighty warriors, just like Abhimanyu was in the battle of Kurukshetra. And Krishna, Narad tells the residents of Dwarka, and immediately Krishna wants to come and have war with Duryodhana. But Baladev says, no, I'll go and speak to him as a friend. So he comes with all brahmanas and so on. And Duryodhana and the ministers of Hastinapur, which is where Duryodhana resides, this is before the battle again, comes and honors Baladev very nicely. And then Baladev says in a very loud, strong, authoritative voice, you immediately return Samba and Lakshmana to me, and I'll carry them back. And Duryodhana becomes so offensive to Baladev at this time. He says, oh, it seems like what are supposed to be the feet on the floor have suddenly become the feet on the head, and you're trying to be like a king. I am actually the king, Duryodhana is thinking. So Baladev becomes so furious with this response from Duryodhana, and Duryodhana returns to Hastinapur, and Baladev Prabhu starts laughing, like hysterically, very angrily, and he raises his plough, and he places his plough in the city of Hastinapur and begins to drag the whole city into the Jamuna, into the Ganga. It's saying Ganga, but actually it's the Jamuna, because it's Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj explains that Ganga is often just used for a body of water. It's not always specifically Ganga Devi. So it's actually Jamuna Devi that resides there. And he begins to pull the whole city like an earthquake. And all the residents realize, and Duryodhana, Bhishma Devi is also there, and Drona, they all come running out, and they bring Samba and Lakshmana in front, place them to Baladev and pacify Baladev. So this is another example of Baladev's connection with Duryodhana. Baladev has connection with everybody, just like Krishna does. So all of these very personal relationships amongst the Brijvasis and the Dwarkavasis are also manifested by Baladev Prabhu. So today we are celebrating this mighty personality, particularly, as we said initially, in the form of Akhand Guru Mula Tattva. He is the representative of Guru. And Baladev Prabhu has the potency and affectionate feelings to all the conditioned souls to use his plow to cultivate the field of love in the heart of the aspiring sadhak, and to use his mace to obliterate any demons that may rise to obstruct the conditioned soul's path and journey back to full realization of his total identity as a complete servant of the Lord. So, Baladeva Prabhu ki jai, Akhand Guru Mula Tattva ki jai, Sandini Shakti ki jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Baladeva Prabhu ki jai. I'm praying today, begging deeply, sincerely for the mercy of Baladeva Prabhu today. May he guide my steps and my life quickly into the realms of Braja Dham, Braja Prem. Because Baladev himself is not giving this Braja Prem, but he's bringing us to that place where we can access this. It's saying, Heno Nitai Bine Bai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. But one cannot come into the realm of Braj without the mercy of Nitai, without the mercy of Baladev Prabhu. One cannot come to the realm and forest of Vrindavan and Krishna. So I'm praying deeply for my Baladev Prabhu to please come strongly in my heart and defeat these vicious demons that rise up and obstruct my journey towards my seva to Sri Radhika. Shri Baladeva Prabhu ki jai, Ananta Koda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Premanande, Baladeva Prabhu ki jai, Vanshakapa, Rubyascha, Kripa Sindhavevcha, Patita Pavnibhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namah. Baladeva Prabhu ki jai.